is RC Kidz Jr.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to RC Kidz Jr. I just wanted to make sure that if you were not able to come to our building this morning to watch Kidz Church, to be in Kidz Church in our new classroom with me, that you could still see our lesson. So this is what we're going to be learning today in RC Kidz Jr. classroom. Now, we just finished learning about the judges of Israel. We learned about Samuel and Deborah and Gideon and Jephthah. There were a lot of other ones, but those are some of the ones we learned about. Now, Samuel, we said, was the very last judge of Israel. When Samuel was judge, the people again had turned away from God and started serving other fake gods. And the bullies, the Philistines, came in again and were attacking them and bullying them and being mean to them. And so they went to Samuel and they said, Samuel, we want a king like all the other countries have, not just a judge, we want a king. And Samuel said, what are you talking about? God is our king. We're not like the other countries. All you have to do is turn back to God and he will save you again. But they said, no, no, no. We want a king, a human person king that we can see, who's strong and handsome looking. That's what we want. And Samuel said, I don't think that's a good idea, but God says that if that's what you want, that's what he'll give you. So that is the story we're going to learn about today in our Bible. Okay, are you ready? Did you get your Bible? We use the Beginner's Bible in RC Kidz Jr. You can get one on the CBD website or on Amazon, or shoot me a message and I will get one to you. I have a lot of them. I want to make sure all of our RC kids, whether you are in our building or one of our remote YouTube friends, that you have your own Bible so you can read along with us. So here's the story we are going to read today. So, here we go. When Samuel was an old man, God's people said, we want a king to rule over us like the other countries. Samuel asked God for help. God told Samuel to warn the people about all the trouble a king could bring. A king would make your young men join his army. The people would have to give their best things to him in taxes. Samuel warned the people, but they still would not listen. Then God told Samuel, go ahead, give them a king. God led Samuel to a man named Saul. Samuel poured oil on Saul's head. This was a sign that Saul was God's chosen person to be the new king of Israel. Saul was shy. He didn't really have faith that God could really make him king. And he went and he hid in all the suitcases and stuff to try to hide from everybody. But the people found him. Saul was just the kind of king they wanted. He was tall, he was handsome, he was tough looking. And they were very, very excited, those Israelites, because remember how a couple weeks ago we said people look at the outside. People see how tall you are, how dark your skin is, what your hair looks like, how tough you look. But that's not what God sees. God looks at our heart, and he sees what we're like on the inside. Are we kind? Do we have faith? Do we think of others? Are we humble? Those are the things that matter to God. Okay, let's keep reading. The people found Saul. Then Samuel said, here is your king. Everyone cheered and shouted, long live the king! Long live King Saul! Woohoo! Saul was a good king for about 20 years. Then he began to disobey God. He didn't have faith that God could keep his promises. He didn't have faith that he could wait for God. Then God was sorry that he had made Saul king. Samuel was sad about it too. God sent Samuel to a new man to be the new king, and we will learn about him next week. Now, some of the things that Saul did when he first was told he was going to be king, he didn't really believe it. He didn't have faith in that. When later on God asked him to go and fight some bullies who were taking over one of the towns and go rescue them, and Samuel said, wait for me there and I will come to you in 7 days. And he waited, and it was the 7th day and Samuel wasn't there yet, and he said, I don't need to wait anymore. He didn't have faith that he could wait for God. Another time God gave him an instruction and said, go fight these bullies, but don't take any of their stuff. That's not what we're going there for, to get rich. And he went and he fought the bullies, but then he tried to take everything. And he didn't have faith that God could provide for him. He thought he had to get the gold and the animals all by himself. It's so, so important to walk in faith and to trust God and trust his promises. And Saul had a really hard time with that. Now, we've used the word faith a lot in Kidz Church, and we have a new Bible verse about it that I want to show you. Here it is. Now, faith is being sure of what we hope for and certain of what we do not see. So faith, we're going to go now, faith is being sure of what we hope for and certain of what we do not see. So what are some things that we have faith in that we can't see, that we hope for? Heaven. I have faith that there's a heaven. I can't see heaven, but I am certain of it, and I have faith in it, and I have hope. I didn't see Jesus die on the cross, but I have faith that he did, that he died on the cross and he rose again to save me. That's something I am certain of, even though I can't see it. That is what faith is, and that's what our verse tells us today. Can you say it with me? Now, faith is being sure of what we hope for and certain of what we cannot see. Hebrews 11:1. Thank you so much for joining us today. We are so excited to be back in our building, in our new classroom. If you can come, we would love to see you. If you can't, I'll keep putting our lessons here so that you can still follow along with us online. We love you guys. Have a great day.